Germany and youth.
Destruction, starting from scratch. The whole world is more beautiful than the place I grew up in.
What place was it?
It was a city destroyed, 90%, Düsseldorf. There was a beautiful river, but the city was gone, and I always wanted to know what was on the other side of the river, on behind the horizon, because I knew from all the paintings, I knew the world was really beautiful. I had to find it.
Black and white.
The essence. Black and white has a capacity to show the same things that color photographs can do, but somehow reduce the things to the essential. You see a black and white portrait of somebody, you know better who that person is than if it's in color. Black and white reduces you to a certain abstraction, and you see the essence of something.
How is that?
Because it reduces your perception.
So you focus more?
You focus more, and all of a sudden the colorful surface is pulled away, and behind you see the thing itself, or the person itself, the person, herself, himself.
Cathedral.
A huge space dedicated to peace, calm, quiet peace. It's amazing that a place like Notre Dame, that we always took so much for granted. I don't know how many times I've been inside. I've sat inside because it was a place of peace in Paris. And you take it for granted that it's always there. And all of a sudden, when it's endangered, when a place that's been there for 800 years is endangered, you realize we are endangered. It's us, it's our references that are in danger. So I saw many people cry last night, and I was one of them.
Silence.
The Tremolos. Silence is golden. Silence is a privilege today, when everything is loud. Silence, I connect it to healing, and again to peace. And only if you know how to be silent, you know how to speak up.
Music.
I can see this world today in many different ways, but the one constant thing that I couldn't imagine it without is music. I mean, I could imagine many worlds, or I could imagine the world changing to all sorts of directions, but not without music.
The power of the image.
For the longest time, the word was the most powerful thing, but that slowly belongs to the past. In the beginning it was the word. In the end, there's only images.
And you are working with images.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
No, I try to protect them with music and with words.
So not lucky you?
No. The image, especially the idea of beauty, the beautiful image is a very cursed thing today. The image that is supposed to carry beauty today is certainly manipulated. And the idea of truth and the idea of beauty today go into very different directions. And I'm much more dedicated to the idea of truth than anything else. And beauty and truth are for me synonymous. And that, unfortunately, is a notion that's completely on the way out.
One's own fate.
every person, every man, every woman has to find out where his or her place is and where your core is and what your strengths are and who you are really. And everybody, every person is absolutely unique, and you have to have the courage to accept that uniqueness.
But you often speak about that in your movies, right?
Well, my movies are mostly quests about that idea, what it is today, identity, and what it takes to be one with yourself. And only if you're one with yourself, you can have a fate. Otherwise, you're tossed around, which is not exactly the same as following your fate.
Loneliness.
Loneliness, there's another word, solitude. I think more than any other notion today, both lonely and loneliness and solitude have no negative connotations. However, it's my strong conviction that only if you know how to be lonely, and if you can accept solitude as something beautiful and healing, you know how to be with other people. You cannot be with other people and be of service to other people if you cannot stand being alone.
Monumentality.
Size doesn't matter. Small is beautiful. But not really anymore today, because small today I associate with a small little screen you have in your hand, in the palm of your hand. And I think beauty should not be so totally defined by the image of your mobile phone.
And you are working at Le Grand Palais, not Le Small Palais.
Le Grand Palais deserves its name. It is big. It is a monumental building. It's a big mothership. Inside, you think you're inside the Titanic, only that it's unsinkable. And to throw images into the interior skin of this vast building is quite an experience.
Wait, we are going to speak about it. Your performance at Le Grand Palais.
We're doing something that we do not have a vocabulary for. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's some sort of fresco in the inside of a huge industrial Art Deco building. I don't know what it is. It's not cinema. It's not an installation. It's not architecture. It's not painting. It's something I don't have a word for.
Is it challenging?
It's certainly challenging, because anything that you do for the first time is challenging. I think this has never been done.
And you are happy with it?
I'm very happy with it. I hope, because I haven't seen it. We worked with a model. We had one single night of testing, like 6 weeks ago. That gave us a little idea what we could possibly do. And then I went to the editing room, and everything was small, and I was never able to go back into the giant whale. And now, tomorrow night, we're back inside the whale for 24 hours, and then...
And the raw material is all your movies?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
How many?
I don't know. I haven't counted. The entire installation is about 33 minutes or something, and it's 7 chapters. Although they sort of go into each other, they're linked with each other, and they're not closely cut, but each chapter is around the world of one film. But then there's chapters that go zigzag between one and the other, and there's one that talks about being on the road, and that basically goes to all my films because I realized they were almost all on the road.
And there's music?
Of course there's music.
But independent from the movies?
Sometimes the music is linked to the movies. Not all the time, but some of the film scores appear, and some of the music that you associate with the world and the aura of these films, because what we're showing is not narrative, it's not films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. It's the aura of these films in that architecture, in the city, and you can walk around in it. So I don't know what it is.
21st century.
The digital age, just beginning. Our genes are just starting to change. Already there's a new generation that has it in their genes, that understands it and is not coming from the numeric age, from the analog age that we are from. So they come without the load and the package that we still carry with us. So it's an interesting age, and it's going to be interesting how much of that analog culture will transport into that digital age.
What is your next dream?
My next what?
Dream.
Luckily, I don't know my next dream. I'm working on a next film, but I couldn't define it. I'm going to make it in order to know what it is. I've always been scared to know beforehand what something is or what it can become, because I never wanted to do something only because I knew how to do it. Knowing how to do it is already the ruin of it.
What would you like people to remember about you?
People in general, I think I'd be happy if they would have some of my work that they can watch and appropriate and make it their own. And in the end, what I made, all these films, belongs to all the people who've seen it. It doesn't belong anymore to me. And then there are people that I'm close to. Of course, I would like to remember them for something else. I would like to remember them for the love we had for each other and the care we took of each other. But that's a whole different ballgame. In the future, people will maybe know my name, some, and maybe still be able to see some of these films, and they can speak for themselves.
Merci.